Call the committee at home meeting for Monday, February 2nd, 2026 to order. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gaffino.
Here.
Trustee Christensen.
Here.
Trustee Curtis. Here. Trustee Gately.
Here.
Trustee Lowry.
Here.
Trustee Nedved.
Here.
Trustee Salazar.
Here.
All right, thank you. Normally we'd have audience comments at this point, but I'm going to move that down to after the village staff and then Silverleaf group talk, and then I'll have the audience, whoever wants to come up and talk, and then the board will discuss at the end of all that. So, all right, trustee comments. Discussion item 1, Steve.
Thank you, Mayor. Item number 1 tonight is an annexation agreement amendment, map amendment, and amendment to the special use for a planned unit development for the Silverleaf subdivision. This subdivision is formerly known as Deer Run. It was annexed in 2008. The original annexation included a PUD and lot sizes with 12,000 square foot lots and 14,000 square foot lots. A developer came with a concept in April of last year, showed it to the village board. From there, it went to the plan commission. Ultimately, in December, the plan commission looked at the zoning request and voted it down with a negative recommendation. The developer is now proposing a revised concept, and he would like feedback from the village board tonight to, basically, he would like to go back to the plan commission and show the revised plan. So he's looking for feedback tonight. That's just a general overview. Nathan's going to walk through with a presentation. The developer has a presentation, and as the mayor said, we'll have public comment, and then the board as well.
Question. On the original developments that had the 12 to 14,000 square foot lots, how many homes did they propose at that time?
At that time, it was 73, I believe.
73?
Yeah, and I have a slide that shows.
Okay, thank you.
As Steve said, this is the Deer was originally approved as the Deer Run subdivision back in 2008. It was zoned E3, which is the same zoning as Tanner Trails to the west. To the north of the subdivision is the Mirador subdivision, which is zoned R1. And for reference, E3 has 14,000 square foot lot minimums. R1 has 10,000 square foot lot minimums. The original plan, approved in 2008, had 73 total homes. It had a variance for 26 of the lots to be 12,000 square foot minimums and 47 of the lots to be 14,000 square foot minimums. The original annexation agreement had design guidelines in the annexation agreement, and it called for house sizes of 2,200 square feet for a ranch and 2,600 square feet for a two-story. The comprehensive plan for this area calls it to be estate residential, and the property is zoned E3. Originally, Silverleaf came in with their original proposal. As Steve said, it came to a concept plan in April, and then the Plan Commission on December 2nd. This proposal had a mix of lot types. So it had 46 standard lots with a 10,000 square foot minimum and 69 age-targeted lots with a 6,500 square foot minimum. The age-targeted lots were similar to the product that you see out off of Banbury. So where the HOA would take care of everything, and there was a clubhouse, and they would mow the grass and everything. This plan had 115 total lots, with the average being 10,250. The proposed house sizes were 1,600 square feet for a ranch, 2,200 for a two-story, and 1,400 for the age-targeted lots. As we mentioned, it went to the Plan Commission on December 2nd. Plan Commission held a public hearing. There was approximately 40 people in attendance. Much of the feedback concerned the overall density of the project, the smaller lot sizes for the age-targeted lots, stormwater management of the site, and traffic concerns. And ultimately, the Plan Commission gave a negative recommendation. So the developer took that information, that feedback from the public and the Plan Commission, and has updated their plan, and they want to show you this new plan and get your feedback tonight. So the revised proposal reduces the lots down to 99 lots. The age-targeted lots have been completely removed, so they're all standard-sized lots. Minimum lot size of approximately 9,500 square feet. The lots backing up to Tanner Trails on the west are all over 14,000 square feet, and the lots backing up to Mirador on the north are all over 10,000. On proposed minimum house size, 1,600 for a ranch, 2,200 for a two-story. The age targeted has been removed completely. With that, the developer has some slides to show you about their company and about their product, and then they would like feedback from you on whether this new plan, is worthy to go forward, at which point they would redo the engineering, redo the stormwater studies and everything based on this new plan. So with that, I'm going to invite Jim to come on up, and I've got your slides loaded here.
Thanks, Nathan. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to do this. I used to serve on a plan commission, so I know sometimes it's a thankless job. Sorry if I said that last time I was up here, but appreciate it. My name's Jim. I'm the owner of Silverthorne and founder. As Nathan summarized, we made some changes to this after the feedback from the public and the residents, neighbors of this development. If you want to click through it. Just a little bit about us. I think I may have explained this to you when we came before you for the acres on Deer Path, but we were founded in 2009. We're privately owned. We're now the largest private builder in Chicago. I have to kind of pinch myself when I say that, but I mean, that's the team at one of our quarterly outings. I'm really proud of the fact that I started swinging a hammer in college, and we really do care about the houses we build. We build a much higher quality house than a lot of the public guys. We're not a fully custom home builder, but we're semi-custom, and what that means is we make a lot of changes. I'm proud of the fact that we don't generally have to have an anti-monotony clause because we pretty much take care of that ourselves with our customers. We allow our customers to change the elevations, floor plans, things like that. I've got some photos for you as well. Obviously, that's the subject site. I think you saw that in Nate's proposal, and there's the site plan. We just colorized it for you. We went to Plan Commission on December 2nd. We got some feedback. The demographics for the age-targeted 55 and up ranches were really good for North Aurora, but obviously some of the residents nearby did not like those smaller lots. Someone made the comment that we'd be putting 2 or 3 homes in what would otherwise be one lot. So we took all that back to the office and kind of started reworking it. I think I spoke at the Plan Commission that the 73 lots that was approved was obviously done almost 20 years ago, and that's not remotely financially feasible. So we're trying to get somewhere to the middle. We've taken all the feedback, and we've met with a couple people, and we've taken some phone calls, and we will continue to do that after this meeting before we go back to Plan Commission. As Nathan said, down from 115 total to 99 total home sites, we completely eliminated the smaller lots for the courtyard homes, so those are completely gone. We also, around the outside ring, most of those lots are actually just shy of 14,000 feet, the ones that back up to the R1. So while they are 10,000 or greater, they're actually within 200 feet of the 14,000 foot minimum along the top curve along the retention pond. And then some of the ones adjacent to the neighbors who are in Tanner Trails who expressed the concern, some of those lots are 19,000, 18,000. I think you could see that on the detail if you zoom in on that. So most of those lots are significantly larger. As I said, they were originally annexed, and I apologize, I had that wrong, 73 lots, not 78. I really don't want to do it because it's our brand and it's what I've built this company on, but we could move forward and close with the 73 lots, but I'd have to pull things out of the house, which I really do not want to do, and I think there's a big market for what we do in North Aurora. I know McHugh is starting to finish up, and they're starting to run out of lots, so I think there are buyers and families in North Aurora that would like what we offer, but I really don't want to lessen what we offer. Next slide, Nate. The revised plan, we looked at the traffic. We had a traffic study done. Our traffic consultant was with us at the planning and zoning meeting. The traffic, and I should have worded this better at the planning and zoning. We said it wouldn't increase traffic. It would not increase traffic relative to what you guys expected as a city back in 2008. If you look at the annexation agreement, it said due to the extreme traffic or something like that, because I think the village board at the time thought that everything west of there was going to get built out. Obviously, that didn't happen. 2008 happened. With this reduction. I don't have the traffic guy with me here tonight, but our traffic goes down by another 12%. Obviously, there'll be connectivity to the neighborhoods, but that goes both ways. Some of the residents of Tanner and Mirador will come through ours, some of ours will come out, but obviously with us being closest to Deer Path, I think most of our residents will probably exit right onto Deer Path. I know that some of the residents had concerns about the apartments and the dispensary that was built, but obviously that's off-site, nothing we can do to control that. Relative to what was approved, it's a very minimal increase in any traffic from what is already approved. The comment about 2 or 3 homes might be put otherwise where one might go, we eliminated all those small lots per their feedback. And then home values, I'll touch on that again. The folks at the planning and zoning got to see it, but because of the quality of home we build, and I've got the actual data from the sales in a slide in here for you, we can definitively show people that we're actually going to help raise home values based on what we sell things for and also what our customers end up upgrading homes to. You'll see that chart towards the end. We had a community neighbor meeting ahead of the planning and zoning. Had a lot of people come out. Unfortunately, not everybody who came to the planning and zoning meeting came to that. I would have loved for them to. And we'll be meeting personally with any of the affected neighbors. We've got a couple, Ben's been setting up a couple meetings just to share the plan with them, get their feedback, just really trying to make sure they understand that we've incorporated almost all of the feedback that we could from their comments. There were some concerns at the planning and zoning about typical stormwater runoff flow. I know for people that don't do this every day that can be confusing and they can think by adding the roads and everything, but obviously we're using SEMCON, who is kind of the gold standard for engineering in the Chicagoland area. They've looked at it. Our engineers spoke with 2 concerned residents about how that would work. There's some folks to the south that are unincorporated that built ponds back in, I think, the late 80s. There shouldn't be any change to that. As far as stormwater flows off of that farm field, a farm field is just completely unrestricted. It's as it was 100 years ago or whatever it was. And so that flows off, and people were talking about, even at our neighborhood meeting, the corn stalks that wash into their yards and stuff like that. We're going to slow down that runoff. We're going to put it into detention ponds. This is all has to pass the village engineers, test. And so we've done that already. And as Nathan said, we'll go back with this plan if you guys give us positive feedback to rerun those numbers and make sure there's no impact. There's actually a couple people up towards the north who were somewhat happy that we were doing this, because once we explained the science to them, they understood that we would be able to slow that flow down and control it in a released manner. Tree preservation, this is something that came up that I didn't expect, but I'm a big tree guy. I live on a wooded lot. I think it's great. Obviously, we have to follow the village engineer's recommendations and comments, things like that in the drawings, but if we can save trees, I generally try to. Some guys think that's a pain and they just clear cut everything. There's some beautiful trees out towards the entrance that I think we can retain. Obviously, if the road or the storm sewer or something the village wants has to go there, we have to take it down, but where possible, we'll try to retain as many of those as possible. That's just a picture of the example of the subdivision entrance manual that we'll put out on Deer Path. Our large lot homes, I took out the courtyard homes, so I guess you could disregard the title saying large lot, but there's not a whole lot in the way of new construction in North Aurora. If you remember at the Acres at Deer Path meeting, a resident came in here who is now a customer of ours who went in to see McHugh, and they were running out of lots, so they tried to move him to a different subdivision, and she said, no, I live in North Aurora, my kid's grown up in North Aurora, I want to stay in North Aurora. And so I think we're providing a much needed option here in North Aurora. Remodeling older homes is pretty cost prohibitive. I actually ended up talking to that customer in our model home, it's probably in December, and she was just sharing with me how she was going to buy a house that was $650,000, but by the time she added up a new roof, a new furnace, all those things, she was above the price of one of our homes built the way she wanted it. Obviously, you guys have had projects like Pulte's Lincoln Valley that sold very quickly. I think based on the quality of homes that we offer, we'll be able to sell these pretty quickly as well, and definitely needed here in the village. The other thing is housing preferences changed from 2008. If you go into Tanner Trails, there are some people that have 3-car garages, but there's some 2 cars. I remember when I started as a young superintendent, a 2-car was standard, a 3-car was a big deal. Now we do 4 cars, 3.5 cars, stretch them out for people that have boats, RVs, things like that. So all of our homes come standard with a 3-car. And part of that is our lot sizing as well. As I spoke to earlier, we're and I'm not really trying to brag by saying this, but the reason I say we're the largest is we've been successful because we build a good quality product. You can look at our reviews on Google. We don't build a bad home. I still talk to customers when they're upset about a warranty issue or things like that. When we do the neighborhood meetings, I hand out my card with my cell phone. I'm not the big bad evil developer that's going to sit here and lie to people and then give them my cell phone. I'd have to be pretty stupid to do that. So most of the large publicly traded builders, though, like Emma and Pulte and those guys, now offer what's called an inventory build, which if you go into one of their model homes, they say, it's great, we got a lot of homes to choose from. But they have gray walls, white countertops, white cabinets, and they all look the same. And I understand why they do that from a business model perspective, but call me old school. I think if people want to build a house, they want to pick out the finishes, customize it, things like that. And the big guys are getting bigger, and there's not a lot of us smaller guys left. So I think we're giving people the features and choice that they really want. These are just an example of some of our homes. Obviously, white and black is very popular right now, but these are some of our most recent closings. You can see from our front elevations, we're not doing low-pitched roofs. We're not doing no architectural detailing. I mean, every one of these homes, that's our Williamson, our Craftsman plan, our Bettendorf plan, some of our most popular plans. And as I said before, we don't have, like the big guys, elevation A, B, and C. There's an elevation, and then we customize that with our sales team with every single customer. Now, some customers do come in and they say, hey, I really like that home down the street, and they want the same thing, and that's fine. I think people should have that choice, but a lot of people come in and go, hey, let's add some stone, let's add some brick. They have fun with it. They cannot do that with some of the large guys. And then just some pictures here. We'll get to the values, but this just recent closings. These are all homes we've closed within the last 12 months. This isn't a 10-year collection of photos. This is literally just the last 12 months, some of the stuff we've closed, and I think you'll agree. When I talked about the values, this is just a grid of some of the homes. Now, I'm obviously not taking an example like we had a small subdivision in Naperville. I'm not trying to compare, different communities. I tried to take the most appropriate. So you'll see Yorkville's a little farther out, but Yorkville, Elgin, Hampshire, those kinds of areas, and you'll see, home prices up into the 900,000s. We always get asked at these, what do the homes start at? The homes are going to start in the 600s. But a lot of our typical customers, we don't try to force this on them. We don't try to nickel and dime them, but we have a lot of customers, and especially a lot of customers that are downsizing, that are coming out of a really nice home. They have a lot of equity. They bought that house 20, 30 years ago, and then they like to roll that over and upgrade the home pretty substantially. So, even that house that's the top of the list at 913 started at 600,000, finished basement, another master bathroom suite in the basement for their in-laws. A second kitchen, stuff like that is what's common for us. So I think definitively we can, and I've shared this with all the neighbors, but they don't have to be worried about property values. If anything, we're going to be raising the property values in the area. Just a little bit of data. The median year that a home was built in North Aurora is 1998. 89% of the homes in North Aurora were built prior to 2009, and I just share that with you. I know you guys probably have a feeling on that, but there's not been a lot of new development in North Aurora. I've wanted to come to North Aurora for a while, but until we got large enough to be able to develop land ourselves as well, if there weren't any finished lots, we weren't building houses. We've had customers asking us to come to North Aurora for years, but obviously we had to get to a point to develop a subdivision like this. I think it's a positive impact on the village overall. This was a slide from the previous presentation of planning and zoning that I left in here. A lot of the lot sizes are getting smaller around the Chicagoland area and around the country as a whole. When I travel, my wife gets aggravated because I got to pull off the road and go drive through some subdivision and look and see what they're doing. But with 14,000 up to 20,000 foot lots now in our revised plan, this will, I did a little bit of digging, this will definitively be the largest lot approved subdivision that I can find within the Chicagoland area. Now, I didn't go all the way up to the North Shore, and I didn't go all the way down to Frankfurt, but even recently, Shodine got something approved out in Campton Hills with smaller lot sizes. So I understand the public's feedback, and we've tried to accommodate it, but obviously we can't put in 2-acre lots or 1-acre lots. We've tried to bridge the gap and come to a successful compromise. So and that's it. If you have any questions, happy to answer them.
Where would your smallest lots be placed on this map?
where the smallest lots would be placed? The very, very smallest lots are right here at about, I think, 9,500 square feet. Those are the very smallest. And then as we get into the cul-de-sac, these
Yeah, I
used to
got it.
be smaller lots for the small homes. Some of those are now 14,000, so they exceed that estate zoning that you guys have for the 14,000 square foot.
I think it looks great. I don't see why anyone would complain about it.
What was that?
I think it looks great. I don't see why anyone would complain.
Anybody else?
I think the house looks
Todd.
nice.
All right, well, thank you. We're going to
I'm fine with it.
public comment now.
Okay.
Okay. I'll go down the list here, and then if anybody else decides they want to speak, they can do it as well, so. Oh, okay, yeah, no problem. Yep. All right, we'll start with Will. Just, be- yeah, with the P.
Hello, my name is Will Pasalacqua. Getting over a cold, excuse me. I think this is my third or fourth time coming up here to speak, and I understand progress has to happen, but every time I come in, whether you put the cannabis shop in or another restaurant over there, I live on Deer Oaks Road.
Want to state your address, just for the record?
I'm sorry.
Your
say again?
address, just state your address.
3S875 Deer Oaks.
Okay, thanks.
But the traffic at Tanner and Deer Path is just getting worse and worse. And every time something comes in, something new comes in, they're like, okay, we got to do traffic studies. This traffic study, it's not going to affect it. It affects it. And it is time sensitive, during certain times of the day, but my wife goes to work. Sometimes it takes her 3 to 5 minutes just to turn left out of Deer Path. If you finally approve something like this, can just please fix the traffic problem first. That's my main concern. Just fix it. Do something with it. I don't know what can be done, but it just keeps getting pushed down the road again and again. So.
All right, thank you.
I'm soapbox now.
Yep, thanks. Patrick?
Hi, Pat Francisci, 495 Bennett Drive. I just wanted to state that in 2023, the village did a study on this property, and it concluded, leave the lots as they are. Leave them zoned as they are. He's wanting to put in 2,200 square foot homes, and 1,600 square foot homes. We just want stuff that's commensurate with our houses, including building material. I don't believe there's any real bricks or masonry going on in any of these houses, for example. Mine was required to be, I think, 75% brick face. I exceeded that. But again, the study said, let's keep it, the 2023 study. Another comment from the other board from the last meeting, they mentioned something to the effect of that, I don't know if it's official, but anything built west of Deer Path would have the larger lots, any future developments. So if he doesn't buy it, so what? What's the big rush to oh my God, we got to get these homes. This is our only chance we'll ever have. No, someone will come along and buy it. Maybe Mr. Zeppelak has to lower his price a little bit. Maybe then it would be a win-win for everyone. He cuts down the price 30%, and now he can build the original 73 planned lots with hopefully larger homes. So please adhere to your own study from 2023.
All right, thanks. Ben? Is there a Ben Beal? Oh, okay. Chuck Owen. Chuck, would you like to come up and speak?
Just like the city fathers, when they came out with that E3, just hope they maintain that same E3 rating. Basically that.
Thanks. Philip? Philip? Is there a Philip? Washington Avenue. Anybody, any Philip here? Okay. Anybody else like to come up and share their thoughts or? Yeah, just come on up and, yeah. Yeah.
Probably hear me, my voice is pretty good.
Yeah. Just state your name and address and.
My name is Mike Bingen, 543 Bennett Drive, North Aurora. I really have more questions than comments, and can I ask questions to the builder? Or is that not reasonable? Because, on these small lots, I'm looking at these small lots. What's your total width on some of these small lots?
The smallest lot now, I believe, is 78 feet. They were 50.
So you're at 78 feet, you're talking every home is going to have a 3-car garage?
Unless a customer asks us, that happens from time to time. There might be 2 or 3 homes.
And your minimum square feet, 2,200, you said? Is that a correct statement?
200 on a range, 2,200 on a
Okay. And starting at 600K. All right, the only thing this is my first time here, guys. So actually, it's my first time ever here, so I'm glad to be here. But my understanding is what I was told is that this was zoned a particular way back in 2008. Okay, and I think that was mentioned in the discussion. So it seems like, why are we going against that particular zoning? We were zoned for 12,000 and 14,000 square foot homes. It seems as though we should be sticking to that. And I know that you're trying to build, you're trying to make money, and I don't know what that would take you down to, like 75 homes or something like that, but I just feel like that's where we should stick to, okay?
I guess it would come down to a higher quality house or a larger lot. We could do, as I said, larger lots.
Why would you still not be able to build the same quality home? You could probably build even a better quality home on the bigger lots, and you'd probably even get more money for the home.
The appraiser won't give us a big bump in value, and so basically we would have to reduce the features, which I really don't want to do, and that's why we're trying to find a compromise here.
The lot price, the land, as Patrick said, the seller wants what the seller wants for it.
Who owns the property right now?
We haven't closed on it yet, but Stan needs to call it going.
Okay, so you have not purchased the property yet?
We haven't, but we're pretty deep, so we have to decide, if we go 73 lower quality or 99.
I'm not buying the lower quality.
We would be close. We would be in the 800s for a starting price, and when we built our small subdivision in Naperville, we were at that.
There's some lots that I was told that's right across the street from this on Deer Path as well.
Yeah.
Are those your lots?
Correct, yes.
And those are, how big are those?
Those are 1 acre lots.
Yeah, so you're already bought into building 1 acre lots.
We didn't have to build a road or do any of the improvements that you do.
Oh, I get that. I know that my brother-in-law he does all the planning for subdivisions in South Carolina, but yeah, I get that there's a lot into it. But you did commit to other homes right across the street that are on 1 acre lots, and I'm sure that those are going for quite a bit.
If that road was put through there, we could probably do the same, but unfortunately, these roads never got built, so that's just the reality of the situation.
And there's no option for a second entrance on this that would be off of some other location than running through our existing subdivision. I think that's another concern that a lot of people have. There's some homes there that had a dead-end street. Now they're going to have traffic going in and out of there constantly. So there's a lot of concerns.
In my experience, and the village staff can speak to this, but usually when there's a stub street like that, it's intended, whoever designed Tanner or Mirador intended for it to connect. And so we're somewhat, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe we're required to connect to those.
Yeah, so those two streets are stubbed into that subdivision. That's not only the road connection, but the water and sewer lines will be there as well.
And to your point, something at some point will get connected.
You've got right now, I back up, I'm on 543 Bennett. I don't know if you would know where that is, but that's probably right behind, I don't know, that's probably the 5th house up from that one entrance.
Okay.
Right? And right now I see flooding. You've got that one area zoned for what, a retention area, right? But I see flooding just a few houses down from where I'm at, and their backyard has flooded. So, I mean, whatever you do here, don't make it worse.
Again, I wouldn't be stupid enough to give out my cell phone number. If we would, we will have it properly engineered, the village engineer will check that out. And we probably spend the most time these days on stormwater through the approval process. So, and part of that is it's an ungraded farm field, so some of that sheet flow that comes off of there, and some of the neighbors attested to it, can be pretty intense during a big rain. We're gonna pipe that all, even in the rear yards. This came up at the planning and zoning. Even along the rear yards of those homeowners and yourself as well, there'll be a catch basin in the back to catch the water that would otherwise flood your yard and then redirect it to that pond. So it should overall improve that situation.
And that's true for any developer, so the first thing a subdivision has to do is dig the pond. So regardless of what gets built.
What guarantee do I have?
I got to sign a performance bond with my personal home, and my wife has to sign it too. So I mean, it's all on the table. I don't know what else I could give you at that point. You know?
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yep. That's okay. Coming up.
Kathy Webb, 3 South, 876 Deer Oaks Road. We have a 3.5 acre, a little bit bigger property. We're right on the south end of them, like 500 feet across, I think, something like that. Two quick things. When we built that, Zeppelin told us there'll be acre lots behind there. That isn't happening. Secondly, we have a half-acre pond back there, and I know nobody here gives a damn about my pond, but it's really gone down, down, down over the years, and I'm really concerned that this is going to affect us even worse. I don't know anything about engineering, so I don't know, but we won't be able to sell that house with a half-acre wet spot. Also, I don't care what anybody says, put 70 new houses in there, it's going to be more traffic. We can't get out of our little cul-de-sac on Tanner. There's traffic coming from every direction, and with those apartments now, Deer Path is like State and Madison. So I think there will be definitely more traffic. That's it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else? Yep, come on up.
I've heard different sizes.
Can you
from
state your name and address,
Joe
please?
Krantz at 920 Bennett. I've heard different opinions about the size of the houses on these lots, but I want to make sure they're at least 2,200 square feet per lot. He builds across the street on Deer Path, and I've looked at what he's selling there, and it's no different than what he can build here. They're, what, $600,000 to $700,000 to $800,000 for the houses. He's doing 2,000 to 3,000 square foot houses. This could sustain the same type of houses, so he does not need to change in the original zoning. Thank you.
Anybody else? All right. Sure, come on up.
Hi, Sherry Hilgen. I live at 525 North Sycamore. I am not in Chainer Trails. I used to be, and I used to back up to the farmland. My property was right attached to that farmland. And when I bought the house, and I confirmed with the village that those houses that were going to be built when they were zoning it, that it was going to be E3. So I really think that, you know, they should stick with that. As far as the builder, I am in Moose Lake Estates now, so I have McHugh building all around me. And he's talking about his prices starting at $600. I know Billy McHugh, that they were not that high for their ranches. You know, some of them were selling in $600, but most of the homes were at least 2,200 square feet, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Moose Lake is E3 as well, if anybody knows.
It is, correct.
Yes, it is. So, and they had to put roads in part of that for phase 3. So I'm just here to speak as part of the community and hope that you guys would, you know, honor that E3. I know that there's homes in Moose Lake that have sold for 7, 8, one sold for over $1 million. So depending on what people want to put, but I think that there needs to be some reasonable priced homes for people as well. And I know most of the homes that they've built, the 68 lots, and they are all sold now. That I do know. They sold very fast. But, you've got to have some that people aren't going to be priced out of the community as well that want to move up. So I think his prices just seem a little high for what he's offering. That's all.
All right, thank you. Anybody else?
Terry Webb, 3 South 876 Deer Oak. So the only thing I'm concerned about right now is my wife was here and talking about our pond is drying up, but we have a half-acre pond that in the deep end, when it's up to the spill, is 14 feet deep or something like that, and the shallow end is like 5 feet. We don't have a fence on the north side, never had to have one. Am I going to have to put a 550-foot fence up because they're moving these houses in there? Because my pond is a possible attraction for kids who are going to be in the area. 550 feet of fencing is going to cost a lot of money.
I think that lot is in the county, and so it falls under the county zoning, so the village has no ordinances that would require you because you're not actually in the village, you're in the county.
Oh, yeah, because we're unincorporated. We're still on well and septic.
Correct.
But that has nothing to do with...
Village ordinances don't apply to the
So I
county.
don't have to worry about that. All right. Well, I appreciate what the builder has done for us. I know it's hard for him to give up money because of having to make it a little bit smaller, but I think it was a death trap with all those small homes and the fire equipment and pumping stations that are out there now. Everything is gravity fed pretty much. If one of those little houses ever caught fire, it's going to catch fire on both sides of it. And I think I like to see, at least he's listening to us, and we appreciate, or I certainly appreciate, the changes that have been made, and I wish there were a little more, but I've been there for 36 years, yeah, this coming year. And when I first moved out there, it was nothing but farm fields. So we didn't have a lot of people telling us what to do and how to do it. And but I knew it was going to eventually get built up. And I think the builder here is being honest, and I think it's going to be improved. But just be cautious with how quickly and how things go, because very little building changes can make big changes to the current residents.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right, I'm gonna.
Mayor, I thought this would be a good time to reiterate a point here from earlier in the presentation for the residents and the crowd and the board. It's unique also that this was done by annexation agreement, an annexation agreement that does have minimum house sizes and minimum design standards, which is not common. Moose Lake was completely different. If you remember the issue with Moose Lake when the E3 lots were being bought by a developer, there were no minimum house sizes. So it's just another thing to consider. I know that the developer is asking for some removals of some of those reductions in size. It's also important to remember that when the annexation expires in 3.5 years, those minimum housing standards go away, meaning you can build any size house on that lot no matter how big the lot is.
All right, we're going to discuss it at the board here, so.
Well, it seems like it's going to go back to the planning commission for maybe some changes and look at it and take it from there. That's where I'm at.
I think he's looking for a direction from the board. This was, something we're interested in or not.
Yeah, I'm interested, but maybe some changes. That's where I'm at.
I've got a question or two for our staff regarding traffic. So that intersection seems to be a topic here. Who is in, I guess, whose jurisdiction is that intersection?
So the corner of Deer Path and Tanner is county highway. So they have Tanner Road, and then they have the little stub of Deer Path that comes down to Oak. So that they do control that, that intersection.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, the county will not proactively, most likely, make any changes at that intersection. They'll want to see a reason to do it, correct?
That's a good assessment. When we contacted the county years ago about the traffic there, and that's why the stop signs are there now. We saw an uptick in traffic, petitioned the county to do a study. They agreed to do the study, and then the study came back with results that they needed a four-way stop.
Okay. All right. I think you answered my question. I was going to ask about the annexation agreement. What happens if that expires? It's clear that anything then, if this doesn't happen, anything can be built there. So I think that's something.
It's good to bring up Nathan's expertise in zoning. So it's an annexation agreement, but it had an underlying PUD. So if you can explain what that means.
Yeah, so the annexation agreement would expire in 2 years or so. And when that happens, it would still be zoned E3. And that original 08 is still, plan is still approved as the PUD. Some of the things in the annexation agreement, though, the design guidelines, impact fees, things like that would go away.
Okay.
So I'm going to, just to get it clear, so it'd go back to the 73 lots, correct?
Yeah, so that is still the approved PUD, and it is still zoned E3, so when the agreement expires, that's still the approved plan on the site.
But the square footage on the house and two-story,
Right, the
that goes
design
away?
guidelines, those are all exhibits to the annexation agreement, so those would go away.
So even though you have a big lot, you might put a small house, so.
Well, a good example of that is Autumn Ridge, right across the street from this development. Those are E3 lots that have homes that are under 2,000 square feet and slightly over 2,000 square feet. So when you drive in, the lots are pretty large and the homes have quite a bit of space around them.
I'm good with that.
Good. Carolyn?
I think that the developer went in good faith and redid a lot of this, making sure that there were E3 lots, abutting E3 lots in the other subdivision, and also on the northern part. My only concern is the traffic, but I mean, it's sort of the age-old question, you know, what to do with the traffic. That's not something the village can do something about. Overall, though, I'm fine with it. I think that the changes are good. Certainly in terms of home value, it's not going to diminish or have a negative impact, in my opinion. So I'm fine with the way that it is. I don't see that it needs to go back to the Planning Commission.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar to her, although I am sensitive to the concerns of the people living around there. Is there any flexibility, I'm asking the builder, is there any flexibility in your plan to perhaps come somewhere between what you're proposing here and what they are expecting? Is there any wiggle room, I guess?
The reason we're here at this meeting is the reason we're here at this meeting, the last meeting, is because we needed some extra time. I told Nathan we'll get back in here, but we needed some time to evaluate it, and that's where my comment came from, that as the points that Steve made, that, you know, we could potentially close on it and build smaller homes. Again, I do not want to really do that, but if we don't get approved, then we lose a lot of money too, and we don't want to do that. We've taken it down to about the bare minimum. I mean, it's really just a touch underneath, and if, you know, we have a little contingency money when we build something, but if we run into a deep sewer or something like that, we're day one, well, upside down a little.
Then what if you kept the configuration of the lot size, but then we're more sensitive to the size of the houses?
I'd be more open to that. The 2,200 on the ranches is really, in my experience, kind of a goofy number. Let me tell you why.
It's too big, you say?
A little bit. We offer the 1,600 square foot ranch, and it's called our Westwood. It's a really popular plan. We've had folks downsize from Hinsdale, Whedon, Glenelg, and those kinds of areas, a really big home, and they build a really high-quality small home because they have another home perhaps in Florida or something like that. And so they want a smaller, they do not want a larger home. However, I'm okay with maybe eliminating that because our most popular plan is our Bettendorf Ranch. It's 2,000 square feet. We've had people try to steal the plan from us. I mean, it's that good, and our buyers fall in love with it every time. If we couldn't offer that, it would be way too risky to do it. 2,200 square foot ranch is a very large ranch. We make a joke in the office, we're the ranch builder, because a lot of the public guys don't build a lot of ranches. I've had some of the folks I know at Lennar and Pulte ask me about that. They just can't seem to figure it out. 2,000 is kind of the floor for us, you know what I mean? So I would be open to that. On the 2 stories, I'd be okay to bump that up to probably 2,400 square foot. Our most popular 2 stories are the Williamson and Braxton, which are about 2,800 and 3,300 square feet. I'm just big on choice, the way we do things, and so I would like people to be able to buy the home they want, and it also gives us more variation in the streetscape, and we have different plans. If we narrow that down, then there's a chance of it getting a little bit more repetitive, you know. But I'm okay with.
Well, I gave up on my idea about less lots. Now I'm focused on just the size of the house, and if you were able to do what you just said there, I would be perfectly fine with your plan. I think it's. I do not. If I thought it was going to diminish the property value of the people that that live around there right now, I don't think I'd be in favor of it. But I do not think that's going to happen. I think it's going to either keep the property size up, keep the property values intact, or perhaps, as you said, I guess they may increase. So I'm okay with the plan. Especially if you the minimum is at 2,000 square foot.
Yeah, we'd be agreeable to that as a conditional approval or making the change.
I'm okay with it.
I like it. I'd rather see 99 semi-custom, high-quality homes than 73 big, ugly, boxy, tract houses. So I think it's great. I've seen some of your stuff out in Yorkville. I'm an appraiser, so I've seen a bunch of it. And the houses are beautiful. You do a really nice job on them. I love the fact that we now have uniformity with the adjacent parcels, with the 14,000 and the 10,000. So I think we're going to keep uniformity between the 2 neighborhoods. So I'm in favor of it.
Okay. You don't want to send it back to the Plan Commission, Carolyn? I'm just going to see, we can either send it back or just move it forward. So.
I mean, I think Mike and I are on the same page. I don't know if it needs to go back to the Planning Commission, if, the developer agrees to, I'm okay with it the way it is, but I take Mike's point, and to make it a minimum 2,000 square feet, I think that's what Mike's saying. I don't know that that necessarily needs to go back to the Planning Commission, so I don't know what the process is. For me, I'm fine with those changes.
I guess a question for Kevin, because it was a negative recommendation from the Plan Commission, part of this is we have to approve a plat. So is that required to go back, or is it the board's discretion?
Was there any recommendation on the plat from the Plan Commission?
No, they just on the whole proposal gave a negative recommendation. So they didn't separate out.
Yeah, but I think it's the board's prerogative whether to entertain. I mean, it's been through the Plan Commission. The comments were received. The former plan that was presented was not recommended, but he's responded to the comments and come in with a plan that is more conforming based on those comments. I think it's the board's prerogative whether to send it back or not.
I would like to see it go back, absolutely.
And what would we be addressing at Plan Commission?
The more opinions for me, the better. That's my opinion on it. I'd like to get more feedback.
Send it back without a directive?
No, I would like. I agree with the house sizes. I like the fact that you'd be willing to up your minimums a little bit on the square footage.
But the bigger the house, the higher the price point. So now we might be, especially with a ranch, when you take a look at the population right now, the real growth in real estate is a ranch type of product. So that's where the demand's going to be. And as he was saying, I mean, most ranches, you don't really see those big ranches because most people are downsizing, or we have a large handicap population that needs a ranch property. So for me, I'm fine with the square footage. 1,600 square feet is probably about, your average size. I'd be okay with maybe an 1,800 square foot
But
limit.
that's what I'm saying, is I'd like,
But 2,000 square feet, I mean, I just don't see that there would be that much of a demand for that type of product, and it
So
almost
that's
seems
just what's
arbitrary to just
sure,
throw a square footage out there.
I agree, so that's why I'd like to see it go back to the Plan Commission to get some more feedback from as many people as we can, so.
Jason?
I think it's good the way it is.
Okay.
I very much appreciate the builder as well. I know one of the residents or two did comment about the willingness to work with us, so that's outstanding.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank you.
absolutely outstanding. So
don't get that a
I
lot
think
of
we're on a
places.
good path here. I think we just need to keep picking away and trying to make it as, beneficial for everybody here, so.
I think sending it back to the planning commission gives us more, like Todd said, more people looking at it, and, we don't want to think that we're going to jump ahead on something that not everything could be fixed.
Right,
And the
right.
lot sizes for me I'm fine, but that, maybe some other small changes, but
Yeah.
I think just sending it back just puts us in a
Yeah, I
better
agree.
position.
Yeah, they don't have to have.
Mark, was there anything, you said a couple other small changes, anything that you can make us aware of, though, so we
Well, I
can
just check out
address them?
the flooding portion that you discussed, and maybe some of the landscaping issues and a few small things, but I think sending it back to them in my opinion, is the right way to go.
So I guess I have a question. So if it goes back to the Planning Commission and they yet again, have a lot of negative feedback, and they yet again say they give a negative recommendation, right? I mean, is that the ultimate, is that what we want to happen?
Then it comes back to us.
Then it comes back to
I
us,
know
correct?
that.
Correct.
I know that. And then
this-
we would just negate what they said. I mean, I'm just saying that, to me, I mean, I guess we're just having a, respectful disagreement about what needs to go forward. I don't think it needs to go back to the Planning Commission. I think it's fine the way it is, but that's where I'm at.
All right, right.
Yeah, I like it to go back as well. I just think it's a good, transparent move, and just like Trustee Nedved said, take another run at it and see what they think. And, I do say, though, Jim, that I've been around a while with a lot of different builders coming up before us, and you got to be one of the most, type that is willing to listen to the neighbors. I think you had a meeting at Sage over on Oak Street,
Yeah,
invited them,
yeah.
and I mean, I do appreciate that, and I appreciate the residents coming, and even the non-residents. It's like change is tough. You know what I mean? And not everybody likes certain things, and I know. Different times people don't want a house next to them or behind them, and it's like, the only part that kind of bothers me is in 3 years, I mean, it could revert back to, big lots and who knows what kind of houses on them.
And
so.
as Steve said, I don't want to go there, but I
Yeah,
also,
no,
we're
I
a small
get it.
company, I don't want to lose
Right.
money on this project, so if we have to wait 3 years and do that, but
I do
we
appreciate-
tried to buy
Yeah.
Kimes
I
Autumn
do-
Ridge, and we were not able to do it because
Yeah,
we
I do
can't
appreciate
compete
you
with
listening to the residents and trying to work with them, and it's not an easy thing, and
Yeah.
so,
See, the project itself is not a bad project. When it started, I felt it was too condensed. Then you made some good moves to accommodate us, and I think we're working together in the right direction. And taking a little bit of time to make sure everything is right the way you want to see it.
And that's why we asked to go back to Plan Commission. I like for them to see it and
Yeah.
hopefully issue a positive recommendation rather than you guys having to override.
Yeah, we don't
them.
like when it comes back negative, right? So, anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
I'll take this moment real quick to let everybody know, too. Everyone brought up the traffic on Tanner and Deer Path. Sorry, I'm under the weather tonight. The county has a plan to realign Tanner at some point in the future and Deer Path. So that's part of their future when development keeps growing out west, that one day that'll be something that the village and the county will have to work on together through an intergovernmental agreement. So they are looking at that now as something for the future, the realignment to make traffic flow better, because I understand it's a concern.
Steve, can I make one more comment?
Yeah.
This was in another town, but there was a retired gentleman who worked at KDOT, and as KDOT, I believe, controls
It
that.
is.
He shared with me that they have a capital plan until things get to, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you guys deal with them all the time. I'm kind of jumping in the weeds here, but that guy told me from KDOT that basically until it gets to a certain point, so I know the residents have concerns about traffic. If I put homes in, obviously there'll be more cars. I can't have no traffic, but once KDOT gets to a certain level of service is when they then allocate money for that. So I didn't build the apartments, the dispensary, and all those things, but as odd as this sounds, more homes may actually help alleviate the traffic issue and the issue you just described, right, Steve?
It would, so future development along Tanner or west of Remington Landing out towards Bliss Road, any of those future development areas, if they grow, then the county will look at expanding Tanner and Deer Path's connection, because right now, everybody knows it's kind of wonky. You come down Oak and then you have to make a right, and then you have to take an immediate left on Tanner. I think they're looking to smooth that out in the future. So if anybody ever has questions about that, you can always call the village staff, and we'll be able to show you some of those plans.
So I'm going to pull the board for the Plan Commission. Does it go back or not? It's going to go around the table and?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I mean, my concern is I know the builder is trying to make a decision here relatively quickly. What type of a timeline would we be looking at if it went back to the Plan Commission?
So you've got some engineering work to do to revise based on this plan. So when would you get a submittal in? What would you?
We could get the submittal in pretty quickly. I mean, we really just changed the lot lines. The road structure itself, we didn't move much. So the really heavy engineering's been done, some tweaks, but I would expect we could get it back to you probably within a week to 10 days.
So if you can hit that, then we can hit a March Plan Commission meeting. The next Plan Commission meeting is tomorrow, so I can't get you there.
I can be here.
I mean, the builder wants to go back.
Yeah.
I think we should honor that. I mean, he wants to go back to
I
the
mean,
Plan Commission.
Yeah.
I'd be lying if I said I
wants
really
to go
want to
back.
go
Yeah.
back, but I do think it's important, as you said, in the spirit of compromise,
good
that the
stuff.
Plan Commission
Yeah.
says, yes, we bless this.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as long as we're not holding things up, I mean, I'm fine.
He requested it, so I
Okay.
think we honor that.
Mike?
Yeah, he could, let me say this, I think you build a very good quality product,
Thanks.
and I don't think it's going to impact negatively in any way. So I don't care if it goes back or not, but since the majority are saying yeah, and you don't mind, I say let's go back to the Plan Commission as well, so.
Same, I mean, if you prefer to go back, then that's fine. If you were saying you don't really
I
want to.
wouldn't mind if you say yes,
mean,
but
my
I
opinion is
did
that you
request
don't-
to go
you don't
back.
need
So-
to
and
go
I'm,
back,
yeah, I'm
but,
fine with that. I'm fine with
You
that.
know,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yes.
I just don't want it to be held up.
I
in
just
such a
really
way
want to
that-
get feedback from you guys as well, because the hard part as developers, we go spend the money on it, and then we come back again, and it's, sometimes we feel like a ping pong ball, so.
All right.
Who we
Steve?
got?
Great, thanks.
Steve, anything else for us?
No, nothing else from me. Nathan, did you have anything else?
That's it. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the feedback,
Yep,
guys.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yep, thank you everyone that came.
Thank you.
So, motion adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Have a good night. Have a good trip.